It was amazing. Before FEMA, before even I saw a Red Cross van, I saw these amazing faith-based groups. And where will we be without them? And all those phone calls in the newsroom were not just about I need. It was, my neighbor came and saved me in a boat. He came and knocked down my door and saved me. So we're taking these names and numbers, and Dave Vincent actually had the idea we need to do something not just about all the sadness and loss, but about the amazing people. So we call them South Mississippi Heroes, and Bill Stallworth was one of our South Mississippi Heroes, and I'm sure you know why. One man that really sticks out in my mind was Howard O'Gwen. He's this very soft-spoken, sweet man in Waveland, Mississippi. And he was able to get in his little tin fishing boat and save his family. And as he was going down the streets of Waveland, which were decimated, he just kept saving people. One more. Okay, told his son, turn around, here's another one. Just kept picking up people, bringing them to a little local hotel to the second floor where the water hadn't reached yet. He ended up saving 33 people, 2 cats, 3 dogs, and a canary in a cage. No kidding. Noah's Ark was Howard O'Gwen. So the 80-year-old lady who nominated him, people would send me letters about their heroes, and I'd read through them and then call them and set that up. And the lady who nominated him was 80 years old. Her name was Betty Gillum. And she said, I was trapped in my house. It was just me and my dog. And as I laid down to die, I remember thinking, because the water kept rising and there was so much debris. As you know, Waveland was horrible. Her door was trapped. She couldn't get out of any of her doors. There was so much debris. And she said, she heard this soft, very soft-spoken voice. Somebody kicked in the door, went in the house, picked her up, and said, do you need some help, ma'am? And he said he doesn't even know why he stopped at that house. He's not sure. He's like, I don't know. We were going down the street, and I just stopped at the house and swam under a barrel and moved it out. It was a barrel of gasoline, I think. Moved it out, moved some trees out. And you have to remember the wind. This was in the height of the storm, so the wind was just whipping, and street lights were hitting, and electricity was flying. I mean, just an absolute war zone for them. And so I asked her, I said, Miss Gillum, take me back to that moment when you were laying down asking God to give you a peaceful death. She was saying she had, was trying to make peace with God because she was drowning and holding her little chihuahua on her chest. And she said, the thing that I remember most, it was like the hand of God coming down and lifting me up. And I just remember it just gave me chills because she really meant it. Is it coincidence or is it divine intervention? That's for each person to decide. But in every single story, every single one I interviewed, every single one said the same thing. I'm here volunteering because of God. I feel moved to do this because God wants me to. I get more joy out of giving than I receive. It's so amazing that all of these people, can you imagine giving up your home? I interviewed a couple who gave up their home, sold everything they owned, moved here, live in an RV, and have been volunteering ever since. They were with the North Carolina Baptist Men. I'm sure some of you, I know they fed me a few nights. I'm sure you remember them. They were here 29 months. 30,000 volunteers rebuilt 700 homes. They worked an astounding 1.5 million hours and served 500,000 meals. As I said, every person who says they feel like they get more than they're actually giving, it really, after 4 years of hearing this over and over and over, I thought, gosh, I'm going to start looking into this. What is it? Is it adrenaline? Is it some physical thing, that gives you this rush? Is it just this deep love for God that you get something back? So I like to read Deepak Chopra, a spiritual guide, and he writes that giving, taking, earning, stealing, squandering, and hoarding are all human impulses, and we would never be human without them. Yet on this list, only one item, giving, appears in the world's traditions of wisdom. So he asks, why is giving set apart? After all, there's no mystery to why someone might want to earn, hoard, squander, or steal. But giving, the principle of giving is usually more is better, but with that, it is less is better. And that's amazing to me, a simplicity in a way. And this is going to sound probably bizarre to you, but I have a 24-year-old niece who is a nun in Bosnia. after her very expensive education that my parents paid for, my oldest niece, went to teach in Bosnia, and she fell so much in love with the people there that she became an Orthodox nun who lives with absolutely nothing in a monastery on a mountain. And she said to me, Aunt Rebecca, this level that I live on is so illuminated. I have absolute peace. I pray 7 hours a night. God gives us all we need, and I never have to worry. So what about rebels? What about appendicitis? I start naming all these things that could go wrong. And she just convinced me that having nothing is the best way to be. And after losing everything, and Katrina, so much of us can relate to that the gift we were given, my husband and I, is that it really is just stuff. This shirt could burn, I don't care. None of it. Clothes, pictures, you have the ones you love, and maybe a few pictures. So many of my friends lost everything. And it's just the people that you love, that is all that matters. And I guess that's the message tonight. Thank you to you phenomenal people for being here and for uplifting us and showing us so much love. Whatever the reason is, we appreciate it very much. It's my honor to be here. Thank you.
What God has really blessed us with is the ability to do something with and for each other. That's the greatest gift of all. That's the greatest gift that he can give us. When people come in, and we saw them by the thousands, by the absolute thousands, coming in for no, you want to stop for a minute and just ask, and I did. I really had to find out, because before Katrina, I was a cynic. I just thought people were no down, good for nothing, low. We won't go there. However, after Katrina, and I saw these people coming from everywhere, and they came down and did the worst possible jobs, pulling mud, muck, mire, cleaning out, anything that most of us would gag on, they would do willingly and joyfully. And I always asked, why? Why are you doing this? And they look at me and just say, well, with a big smile on their face, I'm just getting so much out of this. And I'm looking at them like, you get what? I'm looking at you, you're covered in mud. You just came out of, ooh, that refrigerator was so, ooh. But I'm getting so much out of this. And eventually I got to understand. They paid their way down here, paid to stay here, and left gifts for us, because that's what God would have for them to do. And it meant so much to them. They did get a lot more out of it than probably we did. They couldn't convince me of that, but I know they did. So tonight we are here to honor them. I really want to thank you for all the work that you've done. I mean, I work with a lot of people all the time, but it's just amazing when you look at the group that you have here. That's only the tip of the iceberg. We got a lot to be proud of, don't we? Don't we? I just love this coast.
Saturday morning, one day before the Katrina 5-year anniversary, in a show of symbolic solidarity between the communities across the Mississippi coast, there was a torch relay, with one leg starting from Moss Point and another from Waveland, that would meet up in Biloxi. Starting just after sunrise, under slate gray skies, runners moved across the coastal roads. Local groups would join in and then break away from the relay to lend their support through their home neighborhoods. Police escorts from each city and town ran interference on the highways and small streets. Even a worm-strangling rain on both routes couldn't stop a single one of them.
Got it. All right.
I'm gonna run at my pace to the dog show.
Okay.
We lost the mayor, got picked up by a car. What? We lost the mayor.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. The runner Debbie says bring it back here.
Thank you all for your faith and your patience in this. Appreciate everybody coming out. I was pretty worried, but I tell you what made me so happy. So many great volunteers, city employees working today on their own time. I went by the bridge and there's people donating food and walking in the rain with smiles on their faces. So appreciate everybody's help. We'll have a good time today.
Thank you. And God bless you for what you do. Thank you.
So we're trying to coordinate the two mayors on the top of the bridge.
We've got Keesler, who they're the best, and they have done so much to help us out.
So far, so good. Yeah, we just walk. Let's go do like Halloween. Up in the morning with the rising sun. We're gonna run all day till the running's done. Gonna run all day till the running's done.
Arrogant into noon. At noon.
I really like the chanting. It's great.
Compliments of my first sergeant. That's good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I have a little foot operation going on. Oh, don't be mean to me now.
I got here as quick as I could. Thank you for all that's here for this celebration, and have a good time the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you next year.
Thank all of you for helping us celebrate.
Every mile of the Mississippi coast was covered by the runners' footfalls, meeting up for a reception at the Isle Casino in Biloxi.
Look, we want to thank, and we're going to get ready to light our unity torch. This has been a great event. Come on, give it up for the Gulf Coast. I want to recognize.
You might get a sense of these people and of this place from the few minutes of video and sound bites you've heard here. But it's only a sliver, a small slice of it all. Come on down here, spend some real time, face to face with just a few of them. Talk with them and listen carefully. And you'll realize that these are all truly phenomenal people.